Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tarani. Thank you for watching today. We're coming to you from San Jose, and on our program is Jeff Stiles, and he is the SVP SME Volume and Ecosystem Marketing for SAP. Quite a mouthful.
It is quite a mouthful.
You do a lot.
It's an interesting part of the business, right? One of the things that I have the joy of doing is serving customers that are, as small as, 10 users of SAP software. But we also, of course,
and that's not the typical size that people think that you even would serve customers. That's
well,
right?
It is. It's one of the best kept secrets for SAP. I have to turn it into one of the best known facts. 3/4 of our customers are small or mid-sized companies.
Wow.
Yeah, and of those, it's really interesting. If you look at, 90% of those are in the lower mid-market. So we have to continually educate people, share information about our customers in terms of companies of all sizes and in all the industries across the globe. But it's a great part of my business. I really enjoy it.
Great. So what kinds of trends have you been seeing in the market in the last few years?
Well, obviously, there's the fundamental shift in terms of buying expectations. People want to buy out of OpEx, not CapEx. They need affordable solutions that are fast to, time to value. They can't afford a 9-month implementation. They're looking for weeks, not months. I think, the emergence of cloud computing and on-demand, as well as subscription-based models, are really trying to drive, or not trying to, they are driving, a lot of purchase behavior. So that's one of the things that I'm responsible for is the introduction of SAP Business by Design. It's an on-demand solution focused on the needs of those customers, but it's still an end-to-end suite. We're trying to break that compromise, or the typical compromise between best of breed. A lot of people in the software as a service world are buying a niche application, but then they take on the responsibility of integrating multiple niche applications, stitching them together, signing into multiple systems. One of my jobs is to break that compromise from best of breed and move to best of suite. And we're doing that with the introduction of something we call starter packages that allow customers to purchase just what they need to start, for example, around CRM or professional services or general business. Start small, deploy fast in weeks, but then you'd be able to graduate or move to a bigger use of the software as their business needs it. So it's a consumption-based model, and I think that's a big shift, being able to serve the needs of a customer based on what they need to consume, rather than a big bang implementation of the end-to-end business process.
Now the cloud is obviously having a major impact on the world of software, and you
Absolutely.
talked about CapEx and OpEx. What sort of effects are you seeing in your business from just customers asking about cloud-based services?
So I'd say it really ranges from virtualizing existing on-premise systems. Customers, big customers, small customers want to take operating cost out of running their systems, so they can leverage cloud-based infrastructure to do that pretty effectively. So we're working with a lot of those cloud providers to make it easy for our customers to do that. All the way to, again, the end-to-end process deployment. I think that cloud has multiple impacts on the business. Subscription licensing is different than perpetual, of course. It's also really interesting for our partners. We see the emergence of fundamentally different partner models. Used to be that especially around enterprise software, you had people who resold, or who built a small app on top of what you did, and they had a solution provider. Well, now we see the emergence of value-add distribution, OEM, a lot of really kind of interesting models that are enabled by the business model associated with cloud, but also the technologies that support it.
So in terms of some of the things your company's working on in the future, can you give us an idea of what's going on in the future?
Yeah, a couple of real big ones. I mean, there's a huge trend also in the market around mobility.
Sure.
And so, the days of just focusing on the internally focused, 4 walls of the enterprise and the business process, that's still important.
Are we going to iPhone and Android apps? That's where this
Absolutely.
conversation is going?
Fundamentally, all kinds of devices.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a critical part of computing these
Now,
days.
do we need apps, or do we need just really smart web-based software that's HTML5 that runs on all mobile platforms? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good answer.
I think the answer is both. And there's a place for leveraging the context of the device and the capabilities of the device and the interfaces that they support. There are rich client type apps that make a lot of sense in certain cases. If you're going to do a lot of really deep analysis, but yet you want a gestural type interface, you probably need a richer client than HTML5 can support right now, although my 16-year-old would tell you otherwise. But
well, I actually stumbled upon Google's HTML5 site recently, and it's their Chrome site. I think it's their labs, and it's just showing off the features of HTML5. And there's a really cool asteroids game that I saw there, which is amazing. I mean, it seems to do everything that Flash can do, and I've been meaning to write about it the last couple of days, but I've been here in San Jose, so I haven't had a chance. But that, coupled with the fact that YouTube recently rolled out an iPhone app in HTML5 that seems every bit as functional as their app, and they say it's actually provides better quality than their traditional application on the iPhone, gets me thinking, how far are we from the days when maybe 90% of apps will be able to be replaced by web-based versions, and maybe the 10% where the analytics and things like that need to be on the...
And I go back to the answer both, and because I agree with you, you're going to see a predominance of those kind of light client or no client-based apps. But take an example of streaming video, right? So we've, for example, incorporated Microsoft Silverlight into our latest version of Business by Design because you have such rich controls, and it also gives us platform independence. Now, can we support HTML5? Absolutely. But again, right interface for the right context.
Sure. Well, that's great. It's really exciting. It sounds like you're capturing all the right buzzwords and going in all the right directions with all the different things that you're doing, especially mobility, which seems to be a big future trend. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your progress going forward.
I certainly appreciate it. Look forward to it as well. Got one more big one.
Sure.
Don't
tell us,
take
please.
a bunch of time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think another major trend in the enterprise computing market is leveraging in-memory technologies. So if you think about what you can do, with main memory, for example, Business by Design, our latest version stores every transaction in memory, in main memory. So we don't have to take it off the disk, refactor it, put it into a data warehouse, after you transform it, and then pull it back off a disk. So now what used to take hours, you can do in seconds. So that's great for analytic apps, but we fundamentally see that changing the economics and the capabilities of online transaction processing in the future as well. So that's another big trend for us as well.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to following up on all of those things that we talked about, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay.